Okay, we would like to encourage everyone to help us to share this event link to different community. I know this is a new time, right? Because normally we do this in the morning in North America time and late evening Asian time, but today we switch it around. So some friends might forget the time, but that's okay. Let me share the link to different communities and to remind everyone to join us. And while we are waiting for our guest speaker to link to our 3D space as well. It's almost time to start. We're just waiting for Amanda, and thank you so much everyone for joining us today. I know it's so holiday-ish, right? Today, my younger brother and sister are already off to school and start their Thanksgiving holiday. Well, we're still busy working over here. This is just awesome. And I see that we have our guest speakers over here. Let me inviting you up to the stage one by one over here. Thank you so much for joining us today. And let me double check that we have okay, we have Chloe, right? And we also have Rock and we have Taylor over here. So do we have everyone over here? That's great.
Yep. Hello.
Perfect.
Good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you guys are.
Hello, Rock. Glad to see you again. Glad to see our quick swap team over here. And welcome, Chloe. I assume that you are representing Menta, right? Menta Network, Chloe. Yes, and if you would like to open your mic to give a test, that would be awesome. Also, friends, don't forget to post your best questions in the comments. I'm going to ping our Dapples official tweet over here. Well, I think today is actually not as competitive as the previous time, I guess, because lots of people are already on vacation, right? Having holidays right now. So right now I only see less than 20 comments over here. And we're going to select 5 best questions, which means it's very, very easy to win, right? Very high chance that you might be one of the winners to share this 100 USDT prize. So be sure to post your comments over here and your best questions to ask or Dapple S, Quick Swap, or Menta Network. Thank you so much. And Taylor, would you like to test your mic as well? Thank you. Since I cannot hear Taylor. Hello, Taylor, can you test your mic? Let me double check. Tony, can you hear us?
Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Okay. Now we can hear Taylor. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm on the road right now, so I'm not exactly sure how well my connection is. I might have to reset, but if someone can clarify if they can hear me or not.
You're on the way to family reunion for Thanksgiving?
Yes, I am on the way
Oh.
to my hometown, but I'm not driving. I'm not that good at multitasking. So I just hope the connection stays fine. I think it should be all right.
Oh my goodness, that is just so holiday-ish, right? We have the mood right now. Thank you so much for joining while you are still on the way. And how about Rock? Are you also based in North America and celebrating this week?
Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles. I'll be driving down to Orange County, which is maybe an hour away, to meet with family. Yeah.
That is
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
yes.
For those who celebrate it, and even if you don't, happy Thanksgiving, anyways.
Yes, we are still really happy to, very grateful for everything that we have had, especially during this past year. Quite bumpy this year, but toward the end of 2023, the overall market is getting better and better, which is awesome. And I would like to guest speaker from Menta because I'm not sure if we invited the correct guest speaker up over here. So I see that our Menta Network Chinese. I'm going to go down here. So go that you're so if we are representing Menta. Okay, I guess not. So we might wanted to, gently.
Actually, Moonlight, your connection was maybe cutting in and out, or mine. I don't know, but if you maybe want to repeat it, if someone may not have heard your question, it sounds like.
Okay, yeah, I was just wanted to double checking our Menta's guest speaker because it seems like we got some communication error. So they might not have their speaker right now, but that's okay. We can just have a casual chat while Taylor is on the way to meet his family members, and Rock is also having the holiday mood, right? And I'm here in West3. I have my younger siblings all back home over here. All back to school, from school over home, and so they are listening to me. We're talking about how Intent-centered approach revolutionize DeFi UX, and they're like, okay, we could learn. They're one in middle school, one in elementary. So it's just pretty interesting that we are all learning together, immerse ourselves into these very popular, right? So a popular topic in Web3, and we have been
the next generation of crypto users. It'll be native to them.
Exactly, just like you said, because for us, we have to learn, right? Something that we learn after we already become the grown up. But for them, it's kind of like, okay, we were born with iPhones and all the Web3 technologies, and we knew NFTs. They are not just JPEGs to us; they are something different. And when they play games, they could choose from Web2 traditional games, or they could choose from Web3, right? With cryptos. That's just amazing. I wish I were in their generation. Oh my goodness. But that's okay. We will be there. And first we would like to once again thank you so much everyone for joining today's event. And friendly reminder, everyone, if you would like to share today's prize pool is 100 USDT prize pool. Be sure to post your best questions in the comments. And I already pinned the tweet post on the top of today's space. Just post your question in the comment over here, and then you will have an opportunity to win one of the, be one of the winner and share this 100 USDT prize pool. And we are very happy to have our guest speakers from our Quick Swap over here, Rock, as always, and Taylor, our the organizer, right? Representing our organizer over here from DAppOS. So how about let's still starting from introducing yourself and your project, and then we will go to the topics. And today we're kind of like casual chatting beside some very warm fire pit, right? Because it's Thanksgiving Eve, and then we have a very happy mood, and so we just want everyone to also enjoy listening to a topic and relax with us while learning about Web3 from our speakers. And first, we'd like to invite. Oh, I think Taylor just over here. Let me pull him up. Well, how about let's starting from Rock, our guest speaker.
Hello.
I'd like to introduce yourself and introduce quick. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Rock Zacharias. I'm a co-founder of QuickSwap, also CEO of Lunar Digital Assets, which is a marketing and incubation firm that has worked on projects, incubated projects ranging from Polygon to QuickSwap to Dogechain and a bunch of others. QuickSwap is the largest DEX on Polygon's main chain, the proof of stake chain. That's the classic Matic chain that you guys all know and love. Also largest DEX on Dogechain, which is a Polygon, a layer 2, built using Polygon Edge, but is in the process of possibly moving to ZK EVM, Polygon ZK EVM, and then also largest DEX on Polygon ZK EVM, their new chain. And now going to many other Polygon chains like Manta, who is on today with us. I think is Chloe from Manta, or I'm not sure. But anyways, they're supposed to be here. They will be here. QuickSwap is just been live on Manta for like a month, and I think we're up to like 15 million in TVL and a mil or two a day in volume. At our peak on Polygon proof of stake, we were doing we were the first app to 1 million in TVL on Polygon, and then we were the first or second app to 1 billion in TVL. Aave beat us to 1 billion, but we came shortly after. At one point, we were doing over 1 billion a day in volume. We were the highest volume DEX in the world over Uniswap, Pancake, etc. Nowadays, we're averaging between 50 to 100 million a day in volume. But yeah, glad to be here with you guys.
That is perfect. So much for us today, Rock, and I am trying to pulling up Taylor to the stage, and I got clarification from Manta that they are going to find Victor to be here right now. So let's wait for them, and Taylor is connecting. Hi, Taylor, glad to have you back. Would you like to introduce yourself and introduce DAppOS to our audience? Thank you.
Awesome. Let me double check real quick to make sure all of you can hear me. Sorry, that was a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No worry.
Awesome. Yeah, so my name is Taylor. I am head of community at DAppOS. And for those of you who are not very familiar with DAppOS is an intent-centric operating protocol. And DAppOS was created with the intention of removing the current complexities and making the lives of crypto users and developers easier by making dApps or decentralized apps, as user-friendly as possible. So we go about that. We create an intent-centric middle layer between the users and the infrastructure, so that the users only need to interact with DAppOS, and the platform handles all the infrastructure interactions on the back end. So basically giving the user the best user experience possible. And one of the main ways that we approach that right now is by intent-centric, taking that approach. So yeah, happy to be here with some of our good partners today, QuickSwap and Manta, and excited to get into the topics.
Thank you so much. And I heard that our guest speaker from Manta, Victor, he's in Mid East right now, so it's kind of like midnight over there. Yep. we are from, oh my goodness, we are probably from 4, 5 or more different time zones in this Twitter space, but that's okay. We definitely will have our guest speakers be here. And today's streaming is also we are also live streaming on Binance Live as well, and I could see that we are currently being featured on the homepage, on the top of the homepage of Binance Live. So everyone, you could see that our DAPA's and QuickSwap as well Mentas logos on Binance Live already. You could just go to binance.com/English and /live, and you are going to see our banners up over layers. Very easy to spot. Thank you so much, everyone. And now we are going to go to our second section, which is our specific question to each of our guest speaker. And the first question we would like to go to Rock, the co-founder of QuickSwap. And the question for you is, in early October, we know that the QuickSwap team unveiled your roadmap, right? Last time we also talked about this, the roadmap from 2023 to 2025. Could you please name some exciting development that the company could expect? Thank you.
Sure. So QuickSwap started as a V2 fork of Uniswap. Then we built our own V3 when Uniswap was licensed. From there, we launched things like our gaming hub. So we are the builders of the Polygon gaming hub with Versa. This versus the company we built this with. That features tons of games from Polygon and other chains. And we're looking to go cross chain with this gaming hub now to help expose people to all the cool gaming and gamify stuff being built in crypto. After that, we launched a ton of things like an MEV bot that protects our users from MEV and like arbitrage kind of sort of mini exploits. We recently, let's see, there's so many things. We launched our perps called Quick Perps on Polygon ZKVM, and we're actually building out now our V2 of that, which will be ready in the relatively near future. And we'll be launching that on a bunch of chains. I'll get to that in a second. But we've also launched recently our liquidity hub. This has some elements of like Uniswap X. So basically, our liquidity hub, what it does is it allows users that trade on our site or through aggregators to tap into more liquidity sources than just our DEX itself. So right now, if a trader wants to make a trade on QuickSwap on our interface, they actually are sourcing a lot of different areas of liquidity. They could be sourcing our V2 liquidity, our V3 liquidity. They are sourcing all of our different ALMs, our automated liquidity managers. So these are ways to manage your liquidity since V3 is complicated. So things like Gamma, Steer, and Ichi are some of the projects we work with on that. It could source trades from our solver system. This is where market makers hold custody of their own funds still. Everything's still your own custody. But they can plug in, it's kind of like a RFQ system, like sort of like Fusion, 1inch Fusion. So a trader, I might be... I'm saying a lot of things. I hope I'm not losing people because some of this is a little complicated. But basically, if a trader comes in, it's possible that a market maker actually might take the trade. So what happens is someone goes to make a trade. It puts a trade up in our liquidity hub system. And then if a market maker likes the trade and wants to fill the trade and gives a better price than the DEX itself, then the market maker can do that. If there is no market maker that wants to do that, then it just goes through the traditional V2, V3, or our perps DEX. So there's lots of sources of liquidity that our traders can tap into. So when you make a trade on QuickSwap, you're getting the best possible price because you're looking at so many different things: market makers, V2, V3, perps. And now we're actually building the next part that will plug into that, which is our CLOB system. So this is a central limit order book, limit order book. Limit order book. Sorry. And that will be a system where people can place orders just like you would do on a centralized exchange, place limit orders, and people can visually be able to see the orders just like you do on Binance or anywhere else. And we're bringing that to the decentralized world. We got a ton of more stuff, but I'll leave it there.
Thank you so much, Rock, for sharing details with us. And I also already pinged the 2023 to 25 roadmap from QuickSwap over here on the top of today's space. So while we are listening to co-founder from QuickSwap, Rock, over here to talk about their roadmap, everyone, you could also take a look of their tweet posts and to have a more deeper understanding of QuickSwap and their plans in the long term. They have so many phases. I could see phase 1, 2, 3. And over here, it's a lot of details and new tokenomics as well as QuickSwap NFTs upcoming. Lots of plans. Thank you so much for sharing the information with us. And next, while we are waiting for our Manta speaker to come, we will circle back later, and we're going to go to Taylor from DevilSwap first. And we know that since September this year, a number of leading projects such as QuickSwap, Perpetual, Banky, Stader, etc., they have integrated Dapples V2. Could you please walk us through what Dapples V2 brings to users and give us a specific example of how these integration could enable users' Web3 journey? Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So with Dapples version 2, like you mentioned, it rolled out a little while ago, and we've been able to find specific collaboration and integrations that work for not only us, but for the other projects. And Dapples version 2 is basically made up of 3 different parts, 3 different factors. One being the unified account, the second one being our support for task dependency, and the third being the new bidding system. So I personally think, and a lot of other people think, that the unified account is one of the main factors that help play out these collaborations, these integrations. And to give an example of one of these or a few of them, like you mentioned, for example, Banky or Perpetual, right? So some dApps are only running on a single chain, like Banking Perpetual, Banky on Avalanche, which limits the sources of users. So obviously they'd love to attract users from other networks, and Dapples can help achieve that goal because users can access Banky and Perpetual from other chains supported by Dapples. So that's kind of where the whole unified account comes in. As well as Stader, like you mentioned, Stader powered by Dapples. The users on Stader, they stake their ETH and receive ETHX. They deposit that ETHX and ETH into Curvepool to get an LP token. So throughout all of this process, it's not the most simplified, but with Dapples, you're able to complete those 15 complex steps down into one click. And another example, since obviously we have QuickSwap here, would be, what Dapples brings to QuickSwap is a single unified account. Like I mentioned before, number one, the unified account. And you're able to manage all assets and chains. You're able to instantly access QuickSwap from other blockchains, and you're also able to import, the import point is, the low gas fees and any on-chain asset. So that means not having to switch between the networks, manage different wallets, and worry about the right token to pay gas fees. So basically this unified account just brings everything all together in one.
Thank you, Taylor, for letting us learn more about how these integration could enable users' Web3 journey. That we have our QuickSwap over here, and in the past we also have Banky, Stader, etc. Right, other projects, and I also see lots of our GameFi communities there in the audience, and we do have audience asking us whether or not Dapples might consider integrating with different Web3 gaming projects in your ecosystem. So other than DeFi projects, right, bring some different user to your ecosystem. That might be fun. So that might be one thing to consider in the new year. But let's go to the second topic over here. We are now on to our part 2 over here. General questions to Taylor and Rock over here. This year, one of the interesting trends in crypto has been intent-centric approach. Could you please explain what it means and how it differs from previous approaches? We always have some new narratives in Web3, right? What's this and what's the difference between these and the previous ones? Who would like to jump into the topic first?
I could jump into this one because DAppOS, we are very much so approaching the intent centric part, and so if we want to take it, we want to approach it. I got to be able to like speak about it and talk about it, right? So basically, to simply define intent, an intent is a specific goal a blockchain user wants to accomplish, right? So while no two intent centric systems are the same, they all work similarly. Users, by the traders or protocols, submit their intent to a service, and then it is outsourced to a solver. It could be a person, or it can be an AI bot, or even another protocol that does whatever it takes to get the job done. So basically, with this new idea and technology, we see a shift in the field of account abstraction, which a lot of you are familiar with in this industry. And its core focus is not necessarily to focus on the precise transaction process, but on the user's ultimate intent. And intent being basically the desired outcome of the user.
Thank you so much, Taylor, for sharing.
Can I double click on that a bit? Can you explain for users and myself? And I've actually discussed this on many spaces, and I'm always like asking devs more about it. But can you explain more of how that works? What is actually happening there? Because it's very interesting, and I'm trying to learn, but I'm not a dev. I'm just a dummy on the marketing and BD side. So I'm always trying to learn more about this stuff.
No, I'm the same with you. When it comes to all the development stuff, I think the last space that we had together, I had someone on my team jump in and get all techie with it and everything. But I think even last time I shared an analogy, it was funny because I was like, oh, it's like if you're in a nightclub, you don't understand, you don't really care what goes on behind the scenes, right? Your goal is there for like most people are there for one purpose, and I think it kind of relates into with intent.
Wait, what is that purpose at the nightclub? The one purpose.
Just like let's say just have fun, dance, drink, right? Like you don't exactly care where your drink goes from A to B. You just want to get it. You just want to like get that the happiness right there and then. So I think with intent centric, like not regarding the whole behind the scenes and how that works, because that's kind of like one of the main parts about intent centric is you don't necessarily have to worry about what is happening behind the scenes. It's more so as a new user, I want to go from A to B as simple as possible, whether that's through, like I mentioned earlier with Stater, 15 clicks down into one, or being able to access all the chains on a unified account. I think that's more so like an example of like how intent centric really works. Basically giving the desired outcome to the user, because a lot of these new users from Web 2 who are jumping into Web 3, they're it's a big jump regardless, but to be able to try to understand all of the steps or have to do all of those things yourself might become complicated or might push away those users. So it's not magic, obviously there's things that are happening on the back end, but as long as the user, they get the desired outcome, I think that's really where intent centric comes into play.
Nice.
It's doing the thing you intend to do, not all the annoying, minutia steps that you don't really care about. Like you're not actually interested in using a bridge or setting up RPCs or any of that stuff. You just know, hey, I've got, USDC on, say Ethereum, and I want to buy Matic and stake it on Polygon.
Exactly. So, a lot of the like people who have already been in the industry and who've been a part of it for a long time, they should know, they might like those steps. They might want to know everything that's going on. But for like new users, like for let's say if my mother, my father will ever jump on the Web3, them not having to deal with all those things or not even, having a clue of any of what that means, this intent centric approach, I think is really going to help with the whole user experience of onboarding, those, users like my mother, my father, grandmother, grandfather, if they ever want to really use Web3 intent centric, I do think is one of those things that can help a bridge.
Thank you so much for the conversation. Yeah, I am also leaning towards to the more BD and marketing side, right? So oftentimes I feel like those tech terms, I also need to have more, deeper knowledge of that. But thank you so much for sharing these with us. And next we do have a question specific for Rock, the co-founder of QuickSwap, is that earlier this month we know that QuickSwap has gone live on its 4th chain, the Manta Passive Network. And oh, interesting. So could you please share with us how and why you choose Manta as the newest chain to deploy on? Thank you.
Yeah. So QuickSwap has taken a different approach from most DEXs in the world and most, I would say, DeFi applications in general, which a lot of people were on this like rampage of, hey, you got to be on as many chains as possible. And we actually didn't think that was the best path for us. We wanted to focus on a select small amount of chains and make sure that we win there. If you go to too many chains, you can't do liquidity mining on 20 chains. You know, if you're giving out, say, 600,000 a month, which is around what maybe we give out, maybe I think 250 to 600,000 a month average over the last like year. So if we're giving that much liquidity mining out, and that's on one chain, you're going to dominate that chain, right? And that's what we've done on Polygon proof of stake. If you go to 20 chains, that's only say $20,000 or $30,000 a month you're giving out, or even 10,000. And so it's such a small amount that you'll just be, you know, a 10th place DEX on these other chains. And that's just, you know, a concrete example. But also the same thing happens with your marketing efforts, your BD effort, your business development efforts, your development, everything. So the more chains you go to, the less you have a chance of dominating on each of them. Like each chain you go to kind of lowers your chances of winning on the other chains in some ways. In other ways, it helps, you know, because you're getting stronger overall, you're getting bigger overall. But what we decided was, let's focus on the Polygon ecosystem. And so that was Polygon Proof of Stake, then Dogechain, and then Polygon ZKVM. And now Polygon is moving, their big thing now is not just to produce, you know, some different chains that have different parameters, different speed, different security, different throughput, all that. They're building a stack called CDK, which is a chain developer kit, the Polygon chain developer kit, which allows all kinds of people to build chains now. So now they're not just the chains themselves, which they do have, you know, their 2 main chains right now. They're also allowing other people to build chains and become part of the Polygon ecosystem. And so right now there's like 13 or 15 that have announced this. And Manta was one of the ones that we saw as a good opportunity. The chain offered to give us a lot of support. They had their Manta Fest recently, which is them giving away 5 million Manta to projects that come. So this is like airdrop and volume incentives and different reasons for people to come to the chain. It's a bootstrapping method to get lots of people on the chain. So we went there, and within the first month, we're at like 15 million in TVL. We like Manta also because of their technology chops. They're a pretty strong technical team. They've gotten a lot of big investment from big companies. They raised, I believe, 75 million at a 500 million valuation in July, which is pretty crazy in this market to be raising at a 500 million valuation. That only happens if you're a very serious team with, you know, something on the table. And what they have on the table is like an incredible zero knowledge or ZK background. So they're really good with ZK stuff, particularly on the privacy side. So Polygon ZKVM, that's using zero knowledge proofs for scaling, but they're using it. The Manta team is mostly focused on privacy, ZK for privacy. So when you combine the two now, they're launching a ZK chain for scaling, but they're building all kinds of ZK layers and applications for privacy on the chain. So now you can, you know, build something like QuickSwap with a privacy kind of layer on it. So people could, you know, I think privacy is such an important part of our world. And, you know, the regulators have been a little bit weird towards it because they're scared of it, and they don't, you know, they're scared they can't control if you start building like that for, you know, 100 years. Governments kind of wrestle with, you know, hey, our citizens demand privacy and our institutions demand privacy. But, you know, if we give too much privacy, then people can do things we don't like or that we can't see. And so there's always this kind of battle between government and citizens of, you know, fighting for privacy. And I think it's a very important fight that we got to keep fighting. And I'm glad that Manta's doing it. And doing it in ways, by the way, that the government should be happy with, right? many people in government do see the need for privacy, including, these politicians. They're people too. They're citizens as well. And they know that they don't want every, aspect of their lives out in front of everyone. You don't want someone to see your bank account statement, right? Nobody has the right to see that. The government doesn't even have a right to see that unless they, you're doing something bad, and then they are able to subpoena your transactions. But for the most part, you're supposed to have privacy over your life, of what you buy. If your sexual preferences or whatever it is, you get privacy in the world. There's lots of things that you don't share, every little thing you buy with everybody in your family, or your or on Twitter, right? You want privacy. It's important.
Exactly. And talking about the Manta Pacific Network, actually, we also have other projects that are in the audience. They are also participating in this Odyssey event starting today, right? Today at noon in East Coast America time zone over here, and also deploy their projects on the Manta network already. So thank you so much, Rock, for sharing the information regarding how QuickSwap has gone live on your 4th gen, the Manta Pacific Network. And next, we would also like to, the topic is still Manta Network, even though they couldn't be here today, but that's okay. We could share the reply to them. And friends, we're also live on Binance Live, and we are featured on the front page of Binance Live. So thank you so much, Binance Live team, for your support. And our next question over here is that we know Manta has received a lot of attention in the past few months, and just like what Rock says, right, with very high valuation and with many potential that current and future opportunities that open up for users. Could our speakers also give us some examples of how users could benefit from their network? Thank you. How about Taylor or Rock? Would you like to share your thought? Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess this question was more or less directed towards Manta, and since they're not here to speak on it right now, I guess I could jump in and talk a little bit about how I see how DAppOS obviously can work with Manta, and why we seeked out this collaboration and this integration. So I think it's always good to take into consideration like what the community wants and needs, right? So at the end of the day, a project's community acts as the backbone of the project, and so for instance, Manta Network is a relatively new network. Therefore, it has lots of room for new users, transactions, and dApps, just like we all do. We could all always use more users and transactions, decentralized apps. And so being supported by DAppOS, the barriers to enter Manta are lowered, right? It improves the efficiency of onboarding dApps and users to Manta. As we all know, there's like the saying, teamwork makes the dream work. And I think although there's like tons of competition in this industry, if you can find a lane, if you can find a way to integrate and work with another project and it makes sense and it like answers the user's needs, I think it's great because it's just providing users with more tools to complete and carry out any desired task. And that's kind of like the desired task thing where Intent Centric comes in. And in turn, with these collaborations, more users are able to onboard onto your own project. So for example, us, DAppOS, working with QuickSwap, us working with Manta, in turn, we do get users in turn as well as helping them out. So I think being able to create these collaborations, these integrations, always great, as long as we can solve like the user's needs and the user's problems. And if the collaboration can do that, it's like a no-brainer, right? The team's there, QuickSwap, Manta, they're both really strong teams, great people. It's a no-brainer. So yeah, just to touch on that, on that question.
It's funny because, when it comes to these kind of partnerships, I think going back to like 2016 or 17, you used to see these crazy, like, oh, someone announces a partnership and Project 5X's. It was, it might have been a little overzealous, but it is something that, the early, you're stronger, right? By like, these networks operate that basically the more nodes in a network, the stronger the network gets. And usually people are talking about users store. And then another application plugs into that. Now both of your communities join each other, right? So if you have 1,000 users and they have 1,000 users, well, you both have 2,000 users now, right? And so you get stronger. And then if a third application joins in, now that application went from 1,000 to 3,000 users, right? So it's exponential that way. But yeah, I actually, it's like maybe a funny time to talk about Binance with all that's going on, but this is something I saw that Binance did early on that I really respected. I was surprised when Binance would do things like list QuickSwap, right? We're DEX, we're a competitor to their core business model of being an exchange. So you would think they would not want to, work with us, but they listed us pretty early, and that was really cool to see. They also, do all kinds of launch pads and investments and listings and working with all kinds of projects that are competitors to them, right? I mean, technically all of Polygon is kind of competitors to Binance Smart Chain, but they don't care. They work with Polygon very closely. They were one of the first chains to have native Polygon chain withdrawals. And basically the point is Binance doesn't care if you're a competitor. They always work with everyone. And I think that's really cool to see. And it's just, they have a good mindset of, hey, it's not about like, let's compete with each other. It's let's fight together to make the pie bigger, right? If we all work together, the pie keeps getting bigger and stronger. And we've got a lot more people out there to fight than each other. We've got regulators that are trying to mess with us and help the incumbents like BlackRock take over the industry. We've got there's all kinds of the biggest companies in the world that don't like all these crypto bros, and that the cypherpunks that have built this pretty crazy ecosystem, right? So they all want to take their piece of the pie. They want to hurt our projects and our companies so that they could get stronger. So we've got bigger people out there to fight. I say, like, let's not fight each other. Let's find ways to work together and integrate each other's products and support each other.
That is exactly because, just like you said, 1+1 sometimes is larger than 2, right? Because when the ecosystem is stronger and larger, it will also attract other communities that they will want to join and to take a look to see what's going on here. It seems like a lot of things happening and looks like a lot of fun, right? So that's why we use I believe we're all more towards to BD and marketing or community management side, right? That's why we keep looking for different projects and keep reaching out to learn and see, hey, if there are things that we could do together, let's collab, and not just doing AMAs, but we could do a lot of on-chain activities that really having more sense to, the true collaboration.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's funny about half of we've been doing some analysis recently, and about half of all transactions that go through QuickSwap are at the contract level. They're not coming through the website. That means that that's integrations. That's other projects doing like using the QuickSwap trade smart contracts, not coming directly from our site. So that just shows how important integrations are. QuickSwap has hundreds of integrations, maybe over 1,000. I don't know, definitely hundreds.
That is very nice. Yes, let's keep exploring different ways to integrate with different projects and grow the ecosystem. And next, our topic over here is that we know DAppleS and Manta Network reach partnership, and QuickSwap has integrated DAppleS V2 recently. How can the community leverage these triple collaborations? We would like to bring question to both Taylor and Rock here. Thank you.
Sure, I'll jump in. For some reason, although my connection is better now, like, I don't know, Twitter and X Spaces does the same thing sometimes where it's like you can only hear specific people. So I lost Rock as he was talking about like Binance, and so hopefully it works from here on out. But I guess I'll jump into this question. I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier with the last, but being head of community and knowing like what it takes to build a community, but not only to build a community, but like to keep a community, right? Because you can build a community, you can give out tons of rewards, and you're going to bring people in, right? People like free money, but the thing is, you have to keep that community. You have to keep the loyalty. You have to keep the trust, and like I just mentioned on a little bit earlier, and one of those ways you do that is through collaborations, right? Like I could trust one person or I could trust two people. Trusting two people who were working together to solve a problem for me, I'm gonna be even more loyal to the project. So I think one of the big things is obviously building that community. So, and we each have, let's say we each have our like specific niches, right? People use DAppOS for a specific reason. People use Manta for a specific reason. People use QuickSwap for a specific reason. But if we can take each of our separate users and combine together with these integrations, these collaborations, it's like I mentioned earlier, it's really going to help all of us in general. So I think some collaborations make sense in some areas, some don't, but the community is always going to be there. If they trust in you, they believe in what you're doing, it's important to let them know what's happening. It's important to solve problems for them. So yeah, I think obviously with this collaboration with QuickSwap and Manta, us three, I think a lot of great things can be done, and it's just the start with DAppOS just launching version 2, a few months ago. It's only the start, and hopefully that from here on out we're able to see more users, more growth. Yeah, so I think it's great collaboration, great things happening.
Nice. And how about Rock? What's your opinion on these triple collaborations? Thank you. Anything?
I was muted there. Yeah, actually, it's funny if you think about it. It's actually it's more than triple, right? Because it's Manta, DAppOS, also Polygon, right? Because Polygon's technology is being used for Manta Stack now, and then on top of that, it's Ethereum because Polygon is now these layer twos are layer twos of Ethereum. So this just goes to show how this DeFi Legos and working together really matters, because this wouldn't be possible without Ethereum, Polygon, DAppOS, Manta, and QuickSwap, and there's so many other partners involved in that.
Exactly. Multiple collaborations, and which is really strong, and there having been, I could see lots of people in Web3 having events that is happening and with the collaborations of these projects together, so which is just great. And we do hope that our members, our audience who are listening to today's event, don't forget to check back each of the project and then find great ways that you could participate in these events as well. And today we also have some opportunities for our audience to ask questions, and I'm not sure if we got enough for each of our projects over here, because I know the time is quite limited, right? Because we just posted this event yesterday. Okay, and for me, it's actually earlier this morning, 5:31 a.m. Eastern time. So perhaps do we wanted to leave the questions over here for a couple more days until before next, and then we are going to reveal the best questions and the winners. What do you think, Taylor and Rock?
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense to me, right? Like give some people some more time to think about, generate some questions, and then we can check back in to see and whether we answer them on Twitter. I could always reply with my personal Twitter to the questions, or obviously we'll pick the winners. But I think let's wait it out and see in the next day or so if we get some more replies, some more comments, questions.
Sounds good. I've got another call right now. I think, does that mean we're probably cutting it here?
Yes, exactly. Feel free to go to your next call. Thank you so much, Rock, for being here. And as always, thank you for sharing your input. You are always very energetic and bringing a lot of very good opinions over here to lead the Twitter space. Thank you.
Glad to be here, guys.
Thank
Talk to you soon. Hope to be on again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, the QuickSwap team. And we had our guest speaker.
Guys.
Thank you. He's the co-founder of QuickSwap, and thank you so much for our QuickSwap official Twitter handle also being here, joining us today. And I see that we have Manta, the Chinese community have been being there from the beginning to the end, right? Next time we do hope to involve Manta speakers over here as well. I know we all are in different time zones, and especially this is Thanksgiving break. Yeah. And so I know everyone's very busy with the family. And Taylor, we should have a great trip to meet with your family members. This is the end of the year, so you should really have a break. Finally, now you're traveling to meet your family, not traveling to another conferences, right?
I know. Thank you. Thank you. I wish I would have like planned it out a little bit earlier. I was planning to be home by the time this started, but obviously with like Thanksgiving traffic and everything, it was like 2 hours extra. And yeah, I was trying to answer questions in the car, and the connection was going in and out. So hopefully you got some information out of me. But yeah, anyways, thanks again for having me, and DAPOS for hosting, and QuickSwap Rock for coming as well, and Manta for being a part. So thank you. And happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. And also wanted to shout out to everyone who are listening our event over here on X or Twitter and on Binance Live. Thank you. Without you, we won't make this happen. Thank you. So we're going to play some light, upbeat music for everyone to cheer up. Get ready for the break. Finally. Yeah, well, but who says that Web3 never sleeps, right? So let's keep working during this Thanksgiving holiday. We're going to see more and more on-chain activities happening in this holiday season because the bull run is back. Okay, we are going to end our live streaming over here. We are going to